Hey guys, SahSimon here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel and today's new video. Today I'm talking about Friday the 13th the game and a new series I have created called Essential Tips. This series is aimed at focusing on tips for all players so they can better understand the game and how to play it while learning some new skills that will help them live longer and escape as counselors or help them slaughter everyone in camp so they can get the full Jason experience. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas for this video series, and I'm sure you do as we all have our own little tips and tricks we do to survive, please leave a comment in the bottom about it and I will try to incorporate it into one of my next videos for this series. To those players that have been around, you might know most of the stuff already or already have your own methods down. If you like though, check out the video and critique what you see me do or maybe learn something I did different. If you guys enjoy the video, do the button thing, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoy the video and find it useful. Here we go. This is the first and easiest thing I can tell you. At the start of each match, when you are at the character selection screen, awaiting more players to show up, take some time after you have picked your character and perks to check out the other players' levels. You can do this by using the direction pad and selecting each player. Highlight which one you want to look at and hit the button. This will allow you to see what level said player is. Try this with each player in your party because it will tell you a lot for your upcoming match. First, it will tell you if players are brand new or not. This is good to know because if this player is selected as Jason, you know they will have more wiggle room to escape and try things because this player will not know as much and have the experience of a higher level player, with the reverse also being true. If you know that player is higher level, you will know that that is someone you should not take lightly and be more aware of them because they will know how to play Jason and will be more up to date with the tricks players use. Another useful piece of information this offers is knowing which Jasons some players have or not depending on if they selected their characters or if they are choosing randomly. The player's level will also tell you whether they have decent perks. A low level player for the most part won't have better higher tier perks because of the lack of CP to buy perks over and over. And to be honest, we all want to buy those Jason kills before perks for counselors. At least that's how I was when I was leveling up. Because of this, unless they get very lucky, their perks should be very low level, allowing you, if selected to be Jason, another small advantage before the match starts. Since I'm going to help you figure out a way around traps later in the video, I should also teach you how to trap too. When playing as Jason, you are given a few bear traps always. Depending on which Jason you are depends on the number of them you will have, but their purpose is the same: to trap the fuse box and areas around the car to slow players down or give you time to get to them, or to use them as an alarm when players are messing with things. When you start as Jason, always grab your 2 throwing knives in your shack, and your first morph spot should always be to the house with the fuse box, which is shown on the map as a house with a phone on it. Immediately go to it and trap it right in front with 1 bear trap. After that, you will want to lay a second trap, and this can take some skill. I'm sure everyone has their methods, but here is what I know. You can't place your traps right on each other anymore because they patched it, so there has to be some space between them. Along with this, you also have to make sure that where you place the next trap, regardless if you think they will get disarmed or not, you need to pay attention to their placement in regards to where a player would stand when repairing the fuse box. Most players will just put traps down, assuming they are close enough to the box, and hope that once a player starts the minigame, they will automatically step on it. This is not the case. So what I like to do is put my first trap right up on the box. After that, you want to set your next one back and off to the side so that you can place another one right next to it in the same pattern. That way you have 3 traps covering the box in a triangle pattern, which is usually enough to sway anyone from trying to disarm them and fix the box. This assures that the cops won't be called, meaning the only other way to escape is by car, boat, or surviving the whole night. The latter option is what you want because it gives you the full 20 minutes to find everyone with the added benefit of going into rage mode. However, this is not a foolproof method. Even by doing this, it is still possible for players to work together and disarm the traps with pocket knives or the med spray method I will talk about. If players work together like they are supposed to, there isn't anything you can do about them disarming the traps and attempting to repair the fuse box, especially if they are stunning you with weapons. Use your best judgment and try it out a few times to better learn how to deal with it. The fuse box is just one aspect of the prevent the cops from coming. After you have placed your traps around the house, it's a good idea to break every single window and possibly hack an outside door a few times as well. By breaking the windows, you give yourself the advantage of hurting anyone who will go through them. In this specific situation, this could be a very big deal. If someone manages to fix the fuse box right as you morph to them, normally they will be going through the closest window to use the phone and call the cops. This means that player will take damage by going through the broken window, which could become an issue very fast without a med spray. Even though they are inside the house, Jason can still hit the fuse box and prevent the phone call. However, Jason still must get to that player and prevent them from repairing the box again to call the cops, so this turns into a chase. By breaking all of the windows in the fuse box house, you take away this exit route for all players that don't have a med spray to heal themselves, and or you also help to inflict more damage to those players that have med sprays by forcing them to use their sprays more to keep their health up if they have to use the windows to escape you. By chopping into a door a few times, you buy yourself time for later. In case people are working in teams and one fixes the box while another makes the call, you don't have to waste valuable time breaking a door down to get inside quick to the person on the phone. It's also useful to use your sense once you get it on the fuse house as well, because you normally get that ability in about the time it will take you to morph to the house, trap it, and break a few windows. By using your sense, you can tell if someone is around the house or not. It's also useful to go inside the house and know where the phone is located at for later on in case you need to break that door down and make a beeline to someone who is on the phone. The next tip requires you to have a perk. If you don't have it yet, it is one you will want to hang on to once you obtain it. I'm not saying you need it, but in my opinion it is one of the best perks because it helps tremendously with escaping Jason, dealing with traps, and just living in general. First, the medic perk allows you to get 2 uses instead of just 1 out of a med spray. Second, it increases the amount of healing the spray can do. Having 2 uses of the med spray will do several things for you besides just living. 1. Having extra uses of the med spray will allow you to disarm Jason's traps by stepping in them. It's not the best plan, but most of the time players don't want to use pocket knives to disarm his traps that are placed around the fuse box or the car because it's better used for escaping his grabs. By having these extra uses of the med spray, you could disarm 1 or 2 of his traps before it kills you, heal yourself back to almost full health, and then do it again if you have more med sprays, or you could disarm however many traps are present and then repair the fuse box or car. This gives players the ability to repair the fuse box when someone is playing as Part 2 Jason and drops 3 or 4 traps around the fuse box and or the car. A second use for the medic perk is escaping from Jason. In this circumstance, I like to use the perk for escaping from Jason from places I know I will have time to use it, like when you troll Jason into a house with a second story and lock yourself into a room. Wait until Jason finds you, but be ready. If he has to break the door down, that helps, but always be ready for when he can just burst through doors in rage mode. When he finally does, run and jump out of the window. If you have most of your health, it won't kill you, but it will for sure make you limp. Heal yourself before you can even get up and start running, because if Jason has his morph ability, his next stop will be close to where you jumped out of the window. By healing yourself immediately, you gain the advantage of having all of your health back, and a few seconds to run away before Jason morphs and must figure out which direction he will be facing and which way you went. If you want to be a dick and have more med sprays, run back upstairs and repeat the window tactic to try annoying him enough that he will find someone else to chase. But if you are the last one left, try to figure out a way to drag the time out so you can live as long as possible to try and win the match. Let's talk about throwing knife usage along with counselors going in and out of windows. Throwing knives are the other tool Jason is given besides bear traps to help him slow down and catch counselors. You can find them stuck in trees or light poles, sides of cabins, and inside some of the cabins as well. If you see one anywhere, pick it up. You are only given a set amount depending on which Jason you choose for the match, and the only way to get more is by picking them up throughout the map. You can use the knife at any time by holding the right bumper down. This puts you into aim mode, and releasing the button will throw the knife. It's important to get good with throwing these on the fly to slow counselors down quickly, early in the match, because most of the time they won't have a med spray and you can get a quick, easy kill. The second important part of it comes when players are getting in and out of windows. Normally when a player uses the window, they have to open it, climb through it, and they are in. The other way is by running and jumping through the window if they are in a hurry. This will inflict some damage to the player and break the window, which we know can harm players at that point. Here is what you need to know about the windows and the throwing knives. If you see a player making their way to a window, chances are they are going to go in to regain their stamina or search the house. If they don't jump through the window, you have a couple of choices. Since it takes a few seconds to open the window, if you are fast enough with the buttons and aiming, you can fire off a quick knife on the counselor while they are trying to climb through the window. If you hit them, it will cancel out their animation for climbing in the window and stick them right back outside of the cabin, giving you a few extra seconds to close the gap and kill them or repeat the knife throwing if they try again. Just be aware the knife throw has a cooldown of about 2 or 3 seconds before you can throw another one. If a player manages to get into the house and you have not thrown your knife yet, maintain that aim. You will still have a chance to hit that player once the crawling animation has ended. The counselor will stand still for only a moment, but in that moment you need to throw your knife in the window to get a hit before the player dodges behind either side of the wall. In the same situation, if a player is running to the window and jumps through it, you should also try hitting them with a throwing knife because you have a few extra seconds to line up your throw. Once a player breaks the window, they have to stand back up before the player regains control. In that time, you want to have your knife ready to go so that once a player stands up, you throw your knife, inflicting more damage to them, possibly enough to make them limp, giving you time to break into the cabin and finish the job. Even if you don't get to kill the player, all the damage done to them should at least make them burn a med spray or two. Along with all of this, another tip is that you can break the windows with throwing knives. Well guys, that is all I have for you on this one. I hope this video has been helpful to those new players just buying the game and to the veteran players that have been playing for the last 6 months. Again, the idea of this is to help players gain new skills to be able to better play the counselors and Jason so we can have better quality matches. It takes time to get good at some of the things, so keep practicing and coming back for more tips. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.